One time in particular, which was great, because I was called to court and I had to testify, I was being paid to show up to court. But I got paid to watch my videos in court. And they broke them down and they were like, and specifically, they were after, ready for this, they're after the crack house videos.
Really?
They're like, what is a crack house? And I'm like, oh, it's
a house with crack in it.
Yeah, I'm like, it's any dilapidated building. You just see a dilapidated building. They're like, oh, okay. Are there a lot of crack houses on the east side of Buffalo where there's black people? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, yeah.
You're just like, yeah.
There's crack houses everywhere. Black.
You're the one with the data sheet. You tell me.
They're like, does any like one group of people typically do crack more than the other? And I swear to God, my answer was, I go, oh no, everybody loves crack. White, Hispanic, everybody loves crack. White people, black people, Hispanic people, crack is king. Oh yeah, everybody loves crack.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. That was the Angry Cops, or Drill Sergeant Richard High. And we wanted to give you a little insight into his personality with that video. Like I said, he is a very funny, very charismatic detective. And as you can clearly see, he likes his job. He likes hanging out with friends, having a good time. He seems like a good dude. He seems like a guy you'd want to grab a beer with or something after work. He seems like a great dude. So just wanted to open everybody's eyes to who this guy is, because we're continuing the discussion about angry cops today because of and the war against basically not just Buffalo public schools, but all public schools, because I think all public schools, they're all susceptible to this. Every single public school. Do you think they actually care about your kid, or do you think they care about not losing a giant lawsuit because your kid nearly got abducted or abused at school? Like I said, it's what we talked about yesterday. Same as the Owasso public schools with that guy, that teacher. Sure, they got rid of him, but the problem is still it hasn't been solved. They just moved it to a different school. And that's what's going to happen here if they don't actually try to attempt to resolve the problem.
What this is it's people's egos getting in the way. It's people not wanting to have their reputations ruined, or their schools, whatever it is, the schools, their job, whatever it is. They're afraid that something's on the line, and they're hiding information because they don't want to make themselves or their organization look bad.
Exactly. It's like, well, this can't fall on the school just because somebody forgot to lock the door one day. It's like, yeah, it does, man. I mean, there's responsibility, culpability, and again, it's like what you talked about yesterday, Chad. It's the Jocko Willink mentality, extreme ownership. The quicker you can draw that line straight back to you, is the quicker the problem will get solved.
Yep.
But that's the problem. These organizations have become so big that you have lawyers go, we can find a way to wheel you out of this situation. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah. Well, it's even like what we talked about regarding business, too. It's like,
if you can't,
you should be able to, it should be like a one path to your solution. It's like we always talk about. It's like, if I can't solve this problem, I can take you to the person who can. Not, that's not my job. I'm sending you to this department. Oh, that's not my job. I'm sending you to this department. That's how you know it's bad.
Yeah.
That's how you know that something is not run well.
Yeah. And again, a one lateral move is all it should take. But again, we have doled that off. You know what I mean? Like, again, that we have all of our work being sent overseas to people like that congressman that's trying to impeach Trump, who you cannot barely understand. You know what I mean?
So yeah, it's like, I don't want my congressman to be sending my stuff to India.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, let's go right in and review this video, because there's a lot to this video. We just want to do a better even better breakdown with yesterday, and what better way to do that than actually reviewing the video itself.
100%. Here we go.
If you want to put on like double speed or something too, like 1.5 or 1.75. Yeah.
Let me know if it gets too annoying for you.
Not all the way, not double speed, but like 1.75 or maybe half, 1.5.
Can't tell by the thumbnail, this episode, it's not even an episode, it is something Rich, him as Angry Cops, brought to light, and it is something that even now I'm at a loss of words to how to even explain it. I will say viewer discretion is advised, and it does have to deal with kids. I truly believe everyone should see this message, and I know this community. We know this community, and we know you guys will help make this right and make a difference. And really quick, so much love for Rich and what he is doing and the purpose of this. All the AdSense and money that this video generates is going to be donated to the Buffalo, New York Family Justice Center. And the other reason it is running is because in order to reach as many people as possible, this is how you have to do it. Otherwise, it gets restricted. And we didn't want that for this message. Angry Cops, Rich, we will support you till the end of times with this. And I know all of you will do the same. We here, you all, we defend those who might need a little help or who don't have a voice. So again, viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unsubscribed Podcast. Rich has something important.
So that was Eli Double Tap, and he is one of the co-hosts on the Unsubscribed Podcast, and that was their little opening message. Again, they're trying to spread the word. They're letting people know that this is not a safe for work topic, and for good reason. Yeah. And they're trying to spread out the information, like I said. So, I mean, according to Donut Operator, who's the guy that's speaking right now, the Buffalo Public Schools Facebook page is deleting comments. They are scrubbing their social media accounts because they're catching a lot of smoke right now, and rightfully so.
Yep,
it's a good thing.
Yep, and just for the record, line on the left again that was just talking is Donut Operator, and the one on the right that's AK Guy, aka Brandon Herrera.
Yes.
To say, and we would like for you all to hear it.
You ready to get sued?
Yeah.
No?
Let's go.
All right, so this is this is real, and this can't affect my life, but it's at the moment where it's one of those things where you gotta do the right thing or not. And I didn't want to ruin the actual podcast with it. I wanted to wait till later on just in case. So here's the deal. I've been in SVU in the Buffalo Police Department for 2 years, and there was a space in between it where I left SVU, Special Victims Unit, and I went to two other. I got promoted to lieutenant, and then went to the FBI and assisted with that, and I'm back in SVU. But during those 2 years, even before then, there has been an issue where the Buffalo school system, specifically their legal representatives in the city, like the city attorneys that specifically work for Buffalo Public Schools, right? So I'm not sure if that's the city of Buffalo buying these attorneys and having them protect them, or if it's like the schools, like lawyers for the schools is their own thing. But either way, long story short. The Buffalo school system has been intentionally not reporting the assaults of student, and then has also used the Buffalo Police Department's school resource officers to write reports and then had their influence over those officers to then close the reports. And that's a story I'll get into.
Right, so soft pitch, why are they doing that?
I don't know. My best estimate is that they're afraid or don't want the numbers to show that there are these police investigations occurring at their schools or assaults occurring at their schools because it could affect funding or something somehow. Which,
you know, how ridiculous is it that you can't say the word sexual without YouTube censoring you? I mean, that's why they're bleeping that word out. They don't even like that word. I mean, like the word the word sexual by itself, no problem. But then you ally the word assault directly behind it, YouTube's going to censor you for that. This is how censorious these platforms are. It's like, again, they're not marketing this video as child friendly, but again, it's the Mark Twain thing. You know, it's like it's banning steak because a baby can't chew it. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing. It's like, oh, this might be sensitive to some people. It's like, no, the only people it's sensitive to is Buffalo Public Schools right now. They don't want to catch this smoke. Yeah. So again, this YouTube, stop sucking. Just let us say the words that we need to say.
Yep. And like scrubbing their social media posts. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is absolutely like ridiculous. Like, I thought More Light is supposed to expose the corruption, and what does the school do? It does. The schools in like organizations always do the exact opposite. They enclose. They they hide.
Yep, we want the cockroaches.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, we'll get back to it. Let me know when you want to pause.
Yeah. By the way, is fucking stupid. If a crime happens at a school, it doesn't mean that funding is then stopped or prevented from going to that school. Oftentimes, if there's a problem, people will pour money into that problem to fix it. And I'm going to give you an example. This is a real example. There's a school that's attached to the Buffalo Science Museum. That school that's attached to the Buffalo Science Museum has doors that can go from the Science Museum into the school. Those doors are not locked. Individuals can get into them, right? Stranger danger, right? And that happened. So a stranger went into the school. It's a grade school. It's a very low school. And this person grabbed a male and a female child.
So it's a very low school?
Low grade school.
So like first or fifth.
Yeah. So so kids under the age of 10.
Oh, fuck.
So it goes into the school and grabs a young female child and a male child and tries to leave. And I'm gonna parcel this story up in kind of the way that the information came in. At first, the information that came in was that there was one female child that was an attempted abduction. There was no report about the second child. Kind of a big deal. The second child, the boy, had pissed himself. And when his parents came, sorry, I'm getting fucked up. When his parents came to pick him up,
Take your time, brother.
yeah, sorry.
This guy clearly cares about this stuff. I mean, look at him. He is about to be in tears just trying to tell a story that doesn't have anything to do with him. This is not his story. I mean, this is just stuff that he heard because he was involved in these investigations into it. The guy clearly cares. And like I said, you remember, the public schools were already... I saw that one video the other day where they were like going, Richard High has a complaint out against him for using too much force. You know, we can even show you him using force in some videos that he has because he's gone viral multiple times for being a badass. So, again, people you arrest are going to file complaints against you thinking that you used too much force when they weren't complying? Go figure. I mean, this is why you can't take a lot of the stuff that's filed against police officers seriously. So, again, this guy cares. Loves his job, loves what he's doing, and wants to protect and help these kids. And he can barely tell a story that's not even... that he's not personally involved in, other than just him being an investigator on the case.
Yep.
Like, these aren't his kids.
Yeah, just because it humanizes them too. As like I said,
Yeah.
cops are people too, so they can be affected by this evil stuff that they have to deal with every day.
I know BLM would have you believe that they're just racist robots that are programmed to do one thing: crush minorities. You know, it's so stupid. But go ahead, you can play it some more.
All right.
Give me a second.
You're right, man.
When his parents came to pick him up, the school did not disclose to the parent that the kid was a part of an attempted abduction. So when parents asked him, why did my kid piss his pants at school? The teachers and the people in charge did not tell them that there was an attempted abduction. The school then deleted the video of the attempted abduction.
The fuck?
In the district attorney's office, excuse me. And the district attorney's office only got it because somebody within the school had the wherewithal to record it and then give it to them. The district attorney's office has sent subpoenas, so like court order documents from judges that are signed, to the school's legal representatives, and those representatives have intentionally not responded to them. Now, here's the weird thing, which is like this is the biggest issue right here. Is that specific one is the one that sent me over the edge. Obviously, I'm emotional from it. So, the biggest issue with this entire story, well, one of the issues with this entire story, is that when subpoenaed, these legal representatives for the Buffalo School Department are ignoring the subpoenas and not just not responding to them, but being
What happened to no one's above the law? Apparently, Buffalo public schools are above the law. Apparently, these lawyers are above the law.
Yeah.
Again, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about when, like, you know, and this is kind of off topic, but we're talking in engaging in lawfare. Like, nobody cared whenever this was happening to Trump. They only cared when Trump's doing it back to people who were getting him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
who was that Democrat that was subpoenaed that never showed up, even though he was subpoenaed? Was it Fauci or somebody? I forget who it was.
I can't remember.
There was some Democratic person that was subpoenaed and they never showed up. And like, you know, Democrats didn't say nothing, but you know, when Trump was like even broached that I'm not going to show up to this.
yeah,
like,
we'll arrest Steve Bannon about it. We'll arrest Steve Bannon for not showing up to a congressional hearing. Again, crazy. But again, this is what we're talking about. Like, these people who work for the government, these government officials who work for the public school systems, and any government outlet for that matter, it's like they feel like they're above the law. They don't answer to anything. They who am I answering to? Like, I am the government, you know? So go ahead and you can continue.
Absolutely.
obstructionists and actually giving information to school administrators and school personnel to not talk to the police or assist the police in any way. In fact, to obstruct us, like intentionally, do not do these things. Here's how you prevent the police from doing their job. So, and here's where like this crux is coming in, why it's kind of a whistleblower thing is there are people that are trying to get this information from the schools, and the main obstructionists are these lawyers who, once again, I said, are ignoring subpoenas and court orders. And the only way that you can overcome that is if somebody from the court system, judge, attorney general's office in New York State, the attorney general of the United States, comes down and says, why are you not responding to these court orders? You're ordered to respond to them and you're not. And in this specific case, you know, like destruction of evidence, you know, which is huge. And then not telling one of the, you know, the kid's parents.
No, if somebody comes forward, you said somebody had the wherewithal to record the surveillance video or whatever it was.
Yeah.
If somebody comes forward with that, that's still usable as evidence.
So they have to, that person, that's the weird thing about New York State. And I'm not a lawyer and my knowledge is limited in that, but from my understanding, you need to have somebody confirm the authenticity of the recording. So let's say that it's a CCTV of like a corner store. The manager or a worker would have to show up to court and say, that is the video that from my store. When it comes from, and I don't know if this is how it was done, but let's say like a cell phone recorded the CCTV footage and then they were like, hey, they deleted the real CCTV footage, and then gave it to the assistant district attorney. You would need somebody to authenticate that, which would, and this is where the legal process is weird to me. I'm not sure if that means that the individual that sent the CCTV recording from their phone would have to state, I'm so and so, I recorded that with my phone. I was in the office of such and such school, and this is recording of our CCTV footage. Or if that means that any representative from the school can say, no, what that person recorded is our CCTV footage.
Gotcha. So whoever recorded versus anyone can say yes and verify that.
So I'm not sure. Like that's something for like the lawyers to do. I'm not sure how that process goes, but
yeah. School district did that,
dude. I'm telling you, it's a lot of the schools. When I say that's the worst example that I have,
So that scares me to death because what if someone from the school goes, "That's not from our school"?
Yeah.
So I hope that person like that sent it in can be like, I work at that school. I know for a fact, could testify to that in court. Like, I worked at that school during this time. I know that's from this school.
And again, this is one of those things where, like, if you don't answer to a higher authority, if you don't answer to God, again, you putting your hand on the Bible and swearing on a court of law means nothing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not a Christian, you don't feel like you're going to be judged one day. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll just lie and say it's fine. That again, that's what scares me. The farther we get away from God, the worse our society's going to get. Period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If there is no resemblance of truth, that's what swearing, putting your hand on the Bible is. There's no resemblance to truth. The fact that you go, if I lie in court and be on all these people, that I'm going to burn in hell or whatever. Like if there's no fear of that, yeah, you're basically swearing on nothing.
Yeah,
You're
I'm swearing to
faith.
myself. I'm my own God. I'm the arbiter of my own truth. Reality's whatever I want to make it.
Yeah, pretty much.
which is obviously a horrible example. I can't tell you the amount of shit that I have to go through in order to go to a school, talk to a principal and say, what did the kid tell you? And they'll go, I can't talk to you. I've got to talk to my lawyers. And they're like, it's in your job to protect the kids? I can't tell you how many. I'll tell you another one. I had a girl that was, get fucked up.
That's fucking wild. Like, especially if your own kiddo and then you don't even know, they come home, they're scared, they're confused, they have no idea what just happened, and then no one's telling them.
If you were a parent,
The loyalty to the fucking money above the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think it's a mix of fear. I think it's the fear of there's a lot of shit there. I don't think it's like dirty money. I think it's a fear of losing your job. It's a fear of the people that are above you that are going to come back and get you. I think it's the fear of stepping out of line and then getting reprimanded.
Bystander.
But like
Exactly.
one of the cases that I had.
Boom. What Rich just said is perfect right there. Again, it's why is a principal not talking to a police officer trying to investigate something that's happening to a kid? Like, it's like, I can't talk to you. I have to talk to my lawyers before I can talk to you. It's like, why? This has something to do with the organization itself, like the school boards, the student unions, the teachers unions. Something's wrong here where they would go, I need to consult my lawyer before I consult this police officer. Again, the case has nothing to do with me as the principal. It has everything to do with a domestic dispute at home.
Exactly.
Like, it has nothing to do with the teacher. It has nothing to do with the teacher.
That's exactly what I'm getting at here. It's just like, it's an embarrassment to them. Like, it's them being called out on it. Like, and that's their first thought is like, I could lose my job over this.
Yes, I could lose my steady paycheck. Again, guys, your soul is worth more than money. What does it cost you to gain the world at the expense of your soul or at the cost of your soul? You know what I mean? It's like, well, I have to feed myself and my family. It's like, dude, if you're that guy that comes out and rings public school corruption, guess what? Sure, the public schools are gonna bury you, but again, it's like what's happening with Angry Cops. He might lose his job as a police officer, but I guarantee you that he's not going to hurt for money.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and that there's a type of meetings or something that happen, whether it's within the teachers union themselves or within like the organization of the school. Because like, do you remember when we won't say his name, but you remember when that one teacher that you had in whatever it was,
molested a kid.
Yeah, molested a kid. And like, I remember like, because the school, I mean, all the kids talked about it. All the kids were talking about it throughout
None
the
of
school.
the teachers.
And the teachers would shut you up about it. You don't know what you're talking about. Keep your mouth shut about that.
Yeah.
I think every teacher was like that. There was maybe like the exception of like one or two. But yeah, if a teacher's openly heard you talking about that, it was like it was their job to shut you up about it.
Yeah. And again, I mean, this is where I learned as a high school senior, learned to not trust people because I remember just like, because the guy that tried to sexually abuse one of my classmates or a fellow classmate, I said, not when I was around. It was like some type of theater trip or something like that. And I wasn't in theater. I was just in the stagecraft. Like I helped to build sets and whatnot. But he was in charge of that class, the stagecraft class. So, and he was like one of my favorite teachers. Like, let us get away with murder. We could do whatever we wanted to. And then, and then when I found out it happened, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, this is like, I was like, this is somebody I liked and respected. And all of a sudden it's like you realize the only reason he was the way he was because he was trying to garner trust and build relationships with his
students.
victims.
That's exactly right.
So I just remember sitting there going, you can't trust anybody.
Yeah, a pedophile doesn't come at kids with the what do you call it, like the flasher jacket and everything. He comes at kids with candy and promises of fun and joy.
Yeah, or in the case of an authority figure, letting kids do whatever they want. Because whenever they replaced him, like the other guy made us do work, like everybody was like, man, this sucks. What happened to our old teacher? And then we found out what happened to our old teacher. And that's when it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
So again, it's just one of those things where it's like, be careful of the teachers that just let you do whatever you want and get away with murder because they're just trying to garner your
trust and sympathy
and be like, hey, it's like we can hang out and I can get you guys some chips and some food and stuff. And the next thing you know, you're passed out on the floor because you got roofied,
Exactly. But like I said, the main point of that was we wanted to get to the fact that, teachers will defend each other, like even if they're guilty. Like, and that guy was guilty of it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the teachers just trying to clamp down on gossip. Maybe maybe the teachers at Owasso were just doing it to protect the student who was involved in it, but still,
it's like that stuff does not stay quiet.
No, yeah, you're talking about adolescence, and we're talking about scandals within the school. You're not going to shut them up. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, well, this is what I heard. And it's like, and odds are, and most of the kids had, and again, all the gossip tended to be pretty close to the truth.
Yeah.
Some people had their opinions on whether or not the kid that got assaulted wanted it or not, but that's because there are two sides to every story. It's like, well, he's a fairy type anyway. Who gives a crap,
Yeah.
So anyway, either way, it was a horrible situation. So anyway, we'll get back to this because we just kind of went off on a tangent. But again, don't trust people. Don't trust people, especially people who work in this particular program, because their job is to protect their job and their income, not protect their students, not protect you.
Yep.
That is a girl went to she got beat by her dad, who's a blood. He's a piece of shit. She got beat by her dad, and she went to a school counselor and said, my dad beats me. And the school counselor didn't report it. The school counselor's notes were like, this kid's a liar. And she lies a lot about how cool she was at another school. And you're like, oh, that's normal kid lying shit. What do I give a fuck about that? So she didn't report it. And then the next incident happened where this girl had a video recording of, I forget if it was either her dad post beating her or if it was during the beating or if it was of her injuries. I think it was of her dad punching her. And she walks into the counselor's office while she's with another girl, plays the video, and the woman's like, is that you? She's like, yeah, that's me. And then the girl walks out of the office. And then later on in the day, the counselor goes up to her and is like, hey, listen, what's going on with that video? Like, is that you? Like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, that's me. My dad beats me all the time. And then the kid walked away. Not reported. Not reported to CPS, not reported to the police. The third time is when my case comes in. The kid comes into school beaten and bruised and swollen, and then they remove the kid from the parent's custody, right? And then that's when I get the investigation of child abuse.
But it took 3 fucking times.
It took 3 times. The first time, it's easy. Hey, CPS, this girl says that she got beat. I don't really know what's going on. Here you go. And then CPS begins an investigation. And then the law enforcement referral from CPS comes to me. And then if CPS brings her in, does an interview, and it's valid, I go talk to dad and arrest her. That didn't happen. The second time, there's video fucking proof. That she's got a video on her phone and shows you. And then you do nothing, and so like that.
And that is where I would say that's the fault of the student counselors. It's like, these student counselors aren't the best. Like, I mean, she ignored it.
If you're working as a public school teacher, we're just going to assume you're not our best and brightest.
Yeah. As we've talked about, there's 3 types of people that become teachers. There's the people who want to be teachers their whole lives, which those are probably the good ones. And then you've got the dumb kids in college that had 10 different majors
6 times. Yeah.
And then you've got the activists that are just trying to get access to children because they want to indoctrinate them.
I mean, I can't tell you how many girls I knew in college that were like, I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to do this. I'm going to
be a lawyer.
And then after 4 years, it's like they're in education. Not to say that they're dumb. I mean, they made it to college, but like I said, they changed their major 5 times and then just ended up on education. It's like, yeah, we knew they weren't very. I mean, it's like I said, that some of them are cheerleaders, some of them other, just regular students. Like, we knew they weren't the brightest. Mom and dad got them to college and, just wanted them to have something to do effectively.
Pretty much. But regardless, like these counselors, like, yeah, you heard what he said. He's like, there's no extreme ownership by the counselors. Like, oh, if she showed me this, she probably showed somebody else.
And
Not
again,
my problem.
And again, it's like what Richard was just saying a minute ago. It's like, some kids lie or exaggerate the truth. It's like whenever a kid goes, I mean, even adults, it's like, I caught a fish that was this big when in reality it was this big. It's like, it's one of those things. And the kid's going, kids exaggerate the truth or lie to achieve status or to, entertain their friends. It's normal kid stuff. And then the fact that the kid had enough problems to go to the counselor and say, I've been beaten by my dad. Then they come in and show a video, and then the counselor goes, well, she's a known pathological liar. We can't trust her. Well, if she's a pathological liar, there's probably a reason she's a pathological liar. And it stems from issues in the home.
Yeah.
So they couldn't connect that? These counselors couldn't connect that?
Yeah. But they can sure as heck connect that, oh, this kid answered a weird question on a gender test wrong. They must be trans.
Yeah. Again, absolutely crazy. So until the kid comes in black and blue, bruised up, beyond recognition, that it's like, maybe there's a problem.
Yeah. It's like, the people who can't determine that a child is being abused at school can somehow determine gender.
Yeah. Crazy, right? All right, you can continue. I think we should probably be close to
Those are the
wrapping
two.
up.
That's one that I'm directly involved in. That's one that I happen to know about that I'm not investigating. And I can tell you that myself and the people in my unit are concerned, but we've made complaints, and people in my chain of command above me have made complaints, and we've had to go back to be like, let's look at this address of the school.
What's the outcome you want on this? Like what I don't.
I want the one school counselor that I investigated arrested for failing to report. You're not a school counselor if you don't know how to tell people that a child's being abused. She needs to be arrested or at least charged. You want to put her on probation? Fucking fine. But something needs to happen. And I'm not saying it needs to happen as like there's no legal system. I'm saying that there has to be a repercussion so that people who see if you don't report because you didn't report, that there's repercussions.
So like the people aren't reporting because they're worried the system will fuck them. But if you don't report, the system will fuck you too. So like you need to do your job.
It's like this dual concern, right? You don't have to talk to the police. Like everybody has their own individual rights for self-preservation. Your Fourth Amendment rights. You don't have to Miranda rights. You don't have to talk to me. But it's different when you're a mandated reporter. And it's different when parents aren't being told why their kid. If you've got a kid, you've got a kid. You don't have a kid yet, not you either. If you picked up your fucking toddler from school and they pissed themselves and they're crying, and you're like, oh my God, what's Jimmy? What's going on with you? The first thing you do is go up to the teacher and be like, hey, what happened? And you would expect a real answer. Somebody tried to steal Jimmy. What you wouldn't expect is for that school to delete video footage. And what you wouldn't expect is for that school to be like, oh, I'm not sure. Something happened. You'll have to talk to an administrator about it. I'm not sure. It's people that are afraid of doing the right thing. Like these school teachers and principals are afraid to do the right thing. And like I said, we can guess why. I got my own hypothesis. This is why. But either way,
That's where we'll wrap it up right there. We live in a depraved, dying society when people are afraid to do the right thing. Why are people afraid to do the right thing? And again, this is what Tim Pool and a lot of these people talk about, going, it's about money. It's about, well, I'm afraid to lose my lavish lifestyle or whatever lifestyle you have. I can't afford it. Look, and Angry Cops is in a unique position where he has a large YouTube channel. If he gets fired, he'll probably be able to generate enough income to live off from YouTube. A lot of people don't have that luxury. Chad and I do not have that luxury. If us talking crap about the insurance company we work for, we came out as whistleblowers, this would not sustain us, this YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, if we found some unethical stuff, it's like I would rather starve to death than work for an evil corporation that is taking advantage of its customers and the people that work for it. And I hope that all of us would have the wherewithal and the courage to do what Angry Cops is doing and put his job and career on the line. Again, a lot of you will say, well, he has a YouTube channel, successful YouTube channel. He'll be okay. It's like, yes, but it still takes a great deal of courage. And he clearly loves being a cop. Probably more. The YouTube thing was probably just this bonus side hustle that he did. You think in a million years he thought it would turn into something as successful as it was? Probably not. Probably not. So, again, teachers, police officers, everyone. Don't be afraid to come out and be a whistleblower and put these companies and these organizations in their place and say, hey, when there's wrongdoing happening, even if it's a union, for God's sakes, come out and be a whistleblower and let people know what's going on.
But just real quick, since we'll have a couple of memes on here, is the first one, and this is kind of getting into the fact like there needs to be repercussions for people who don't report these things. Like it's like same thing with illegal immigration. Everyone's like, oh, it's okay, illegal immigrants should be able to stay here or whatever. It's like there has to be some sort of ramifications for breaking the law or not doing the right thing. Just like he was talking about with the counselor. Like counselor should be fired or be sent to jail for not doing their job. Like I said, same thing here is like Democrats show solidarity with MS-13 by getting face tattoos.
Again, people standing with the perpetrators, not the victims.
Next one, you sent me this. Maryland Dad, Disney's new ABC comedy.
A new original series, Maryland Dad. And mom's all black and bruised up, and you clearly a gang member, Dad. They're just like you and me, except they rob and murder people.
Maryland Dad. I really like that. That's really funny.
Golly.
Now this next one is, you think the education system is great? I have news for you. Kids are graduating now thanks to like apps and everything. This is like get rid of the technology from your kids. Like speaking as people who are in the military and officers, we have to do all of our plot pointing and stuff with our compasses and a map. Like there is no smartwatch, there is no phone that's going to show you the right way.
No GPS.
Yeah. Like you have to do everything on your own. This girl got through high school, all the way through high school, and graduated with honors. And she's illiterate. She cannot read. So our education system, is doing
failing.
so well.
Yeah, it's a failing education system.
18-year-old began her freshman year at the University of Connecticut in Hartford this fall. She's excited to study public policy, the culmination of hard work after moving north from Puerto Rico as a child.
Do you remember when you first came to Connecticut?
Yes, I remember I was very nervous, but I know it was going to be better opportunities for me to learn.
But Alicia says those opportunities never came to fruition.
Even today, could you read this, or would it take you a long time?
It's impossible. I just see his words everywhere.
Alicia graduated from the
Impossible.
Hartford Public School System last year, but she says today she is illiterate. She still doesn't know how to read or write. When she was in early education,
They would just either tell me to stay in a corner and sleep, or just draw pictures, flowers for them.
and when she was in high school, she relied on speech-to-text programs and other apps to read and write essays.
So, if you had an assignment where you had to write something, you'd open up a document like this and then do what?
I would go here to use the text-to-speech.
Go here.
It says dictate.
Dictate, yep. I love pizza.
This is how you would do your assignments.
And then
Cats of the World VA case.
I don't even know how to respond to that. When you graduated high school, you're 17, 18, 19 years old, and you are illiterate. And you graduated with honors. No. There's no student left behind. There's no kid left behind. It's nonsense. This is complete nonsense. If you can't even... She's not even eligible to work at a gas station. Graduated high school with honors.
19-year-old began her
Again, folks, the education system, and this is up north where they don't have the like these are the people that voted to leave the borders open up north. Down here, they're like, oh well, this Texas and the southern states, they have the infrastructure to be able to handle, like teaching kids English in the classroom. It's like, oh, and you don't up north? Mm-hmm. Get wrecked.
And this right here, this last one, it's not really relevant, but it's relevant to a degree because you want to know why members of Congress are getting mad at Elon Musk and why these teachers aren't wanting to report stuff like this. It's because they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. And that's what, what's this guy? Is this Eddie Griffin?
Eddie Griffin.
Yeah, Eddie Griffin is talking about right here.
Look, we done found out where the kickbacks from Ukraine were going to, and both parties are guilty, the Democrats and the Reptilicans. Check it out.
Ukrainian officials released the kickback numbers they gave U.S. politicians. Joe Biden, 92 million.
Kickback.
Mitch McConnell, 89
Rhino. Just for the record, all the Republicans will be rhinos.
million.
Kickback.
Nancy Pelosi, 86 million.
Kickback.
Chuck Schumer, 66 million.
Kickback.
Lindsey Graham, 82
Rhino.
million.
Kickback.
Mitt Romney, 71
Rhino.
million.
Kickback.
John Cornyn, 41 million.
Kickback.
Adam Schiff, 62 million.
Kickback.
Dan Crenshaw,
Rhino.
20 million.
Kickback.
Elizabeth Cheney, 77
Rhino.
million.
Kickback.
Kevin McCarthy, 42 million.
Kickback.
Now do you understand why they're out there screaming at the top of their lungs to get rid of Elon and Doge?
Kickback. When you give your...
Yeah. Again, when people offer you the luxuries and comforts of the world, it makes it significantly harder to come out and want to do the right thing and do the truth. It's like you can live and struggle, or we can give you can sell your soul to us and you can live in comfort. What do you want to do? And again, a godless society will choose will choose selling their souls and the temporary comforts and pleasures of the world over what is good, righteous, and true.
Yep. And that's exactly what's going on with these teachers. That's why I played that. Is because the lawyers or whoever it is who's got a nice cushy job and doesn't want to bring any bad publicity to the school is telling them, be advised not to say anything, and we just ignore this little subpoena here. No one's going to do anything. We're in New York. This is a democratic city. All the judges are on our payroll or whatever. Like, the teachers union is the biggest union in the United States, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. But yeah, that's about all we've got for you today, folks. Again, we stand with angry cops. We stand with Drill Sergeant Richard High. And again, we're proud that he had the courage and fortitude to come out here and stand up for what is right. And I hope that his courage and his fortitude, mental fortitude, encourages and inspires other people to do the right thing. My fellow Americans, don't be afraid to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Again, what does it gain a man to get the world at the cost of your soul? Period. Again, what would Jesus do, man? Don't be afraid, man. Don't be afraid to ask what would Jesus do in this situation. And again, just because you're going to lose your cushy job doesn't mean there's not a significantly better opportunity just behind it. If you're willing to do the right thing, I guarantee you there could be a significantly better opportunity. And instead, even if there's not a better opportunity, at least you can live with yourself. At least you don't have to be sitting there taking blood money.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I'd rather stand with God and be judged by the world because I've seen what the world does.
Yeah. No, I don't care about your cheers. I don't care about your booze. I've seen what makes you cheer. You know?
Exactly.
So again, that's about all I've got for you today. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. That is all I've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
I went viral on World Star. It was a St. Patrick's Day parade. This guy was trying to fight the bouncers and stuff, and I leg swept him onto the ground, and it went viral.
I love how many random viral cop interactions Rich is involved in. Jesus Christ.
I love it. Like, and that whole place goes, oh! I was in the center of it. You could hear it. You could feel it. It just erupted. And it was the first time I was like, holy shit. Well, that was cool. I went